In 1922, an archaeologist opened the tomb of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. Soon after, people connected to the discovery began to die under strange circumstances. What caused these deaths? Was it a curse or something else? This is the real story of the cursed pharaohs. In this video, we'll look into the infamous curse of the pharaohs, a phenomenon that has fascinated and terrified people for over a century. The curse is said to affect anyone who disturbs the resting place of an ancient Egyptian, especially a pharaoh. It allegedly causes illness, bad luck, or even death. We will look at real stories from history, like the strange deaths after finding King Tutankhamun's tomb. We will also see what science says about these events. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. The most famous case of the pharaoh's curse is King Tutankhamun's tomb. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter found the tomb, untouched for over 3,000 years. But after it was opened, people started dying under strange, unexplained circumstances. Lord Carnarvon, Arthur Mace, Richard Bethel, and others all died, leading many to believe the curse was real. In November 1922, after years of searching, Howard Carter found the entrance to King Tutankhamun's tomb. Sealed for over 3,000 years, it was packed with treasures, gold, jewels, statues, and the mummified body of King Tut himself. But soon after, things started to get strange. Lord Carnarvon, who paid for the dig, was the first to die. A mosquito bite became infected, and he died of blood poisoning. At the moment of his death, the power went out in Cairo, adding to the rumors of a curse. After King Tut's tomb was opened, strange things began happening, not just to the main team, but to others connected to it. George J. Gould, a wealthy man who visited the tomb, got sick with a fever soon after. He didn't make it. Then there was A.C. Mace, another archaeologist. After years of illness, he died in 1928. It gets worse. In 1929, Richard Bethel, Carter's secretary, was found dead in a London club. Suspicious circumstances? Yeah, people thought so. And even Carter himself, who had lived for years after the tomb's discovery, died in 1939. Some say that even his death, though much later, was part of the curse. But here's something you didn't see coming. Carter had a pet canary. Right after the tomb was opened, the bird was killed by a cobra. A cobra, the symbol of Egypt's pharaohs. The locals took this as a sign that the curse was real. Even though some who entered the tomb lived long lives, the strange deaths kept people believing that something more was going on. And guess what? There are even more tales of cursed tombs. Curses in other tombs. It wasn't just King Tut's tomb that was cursed, at least that's what people believed. The ancient Egyptians were serious about protecting their dead. To keep grave robbers out, they inscribed curses on tombs, warning intruders of terrible things if they dared to disturb the resting place of the dead. Take the tomb of Anktifi, a noble from the 9th or 10th dynasty. His tomb had a warning that was pretty clear. Any ruler who does evil to this coffin, may Hemen, a local god, not accept any offerings from him, and may his heir never inherit. In other words, mess with this tomb, and bad things would follow. Then there was the tomb of Kentika Ikeki, a ruler from the 6th dynasty. This one was even darker. The curse said, "As for anyone who enters this tomb impure, there will be judgment. An end will come to him. I will grab his neck like a bird. I will make him fear me." Imagine reading that while standing in front of an ancient burial site. Yeah, chills. But here's where it gets really weird. Even today, curses seem to linger. Zahi Hawass, one of Egypt's top archaeologists, shared a story from when he was young. He had to move artifacts from a tomb. Not long after, some of his family members died. The eerie part, they died on the anniversaries of the excavation. He didn't believe in curses, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. It gets better. Later on, while digging near the pyramid builders' tombs at Giza, he found another curse. This one warned, "All who enter this tomb with evil in their hearts, may the crocodile hunt them in water, and snakes chase them on land." Skeptical, Hawass still couldn't ignore it. After a series of strange events, he decided to leave the tomb untouched. But not everyone who entered these cursed tombs died. Why? Was the curse selective, or could science explain what was really happening? Well now, while a lot of people believed the curse was supernatural, others tried to find a more logical answer. Scientific explanations. One idea is toxic mold. Tombs like King Tut's were sealed for thousands of years, making them the perfect place for mold to grow. Some scientists think that when the tombs were opened, the air was filled with mold spores. This specific fungus, called aspergillus, can cause serious lung infections when breathed in. Maybe this is why so many people got sick after entering the tomb. Another idea? Radiation. The ancient Egyptians used materials like uranium in their jewelry and burial items. Over time, these could have decayed and become dangerous. When the tombs were opened, the people inside may have been exposed to radiation, which could explain the sudden sickness and deaths. And then there's the power of the mind. If someone truly believes they are cursed, their body can react as if it's real. Stress and fear can cause real symptoms, like heart attacks or sudden fevers. Maybe that's what happened to some of these people. There's even a theory that Lord Carnarvon, who died after opening the tomb, may have inhaled anthrax spores. Some believe the Egyptians put these spores in the tombs to kill robbers. But this idea hasn't been proven, so even with all these explanations, the mystery is still there. Were these deaths just bad luck? Or was there something else going on? Let's get back to Howard Carter. Even with all the deaths around the tomb, Carter didn't die until 1939, 16 years after the tomb was opened. He called the idea of a curse nonsense and kept working in Egypt until he died of lymphoma. But here's where it gets strange. In 1926, Carter wrote in his journal that he saw a jackal while working in the desert. This wasn't just any animal. Jackals are tied to Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead. Carter hadn't seen one in 35 years. He didn't believe it was supernatural, but the timing was enough to make anyone wonder. Not everyone who entered the tomb died. Of the 58 people there when the tomb was opened, only 8 died within 12 years. Many lived long lives. Lady Evelyn Herbert, who was one of the first to enter the tomb, lived until 1980. So what do we think about the Pharaoh's curse? Was it real or just bad luck explained by science? Many deaths can be linked to natural causes like infections, mold, or even fear causing sickness. But the idea of a curse still sticks. It's hard to ignore how many people died after entering King Tut's tomb. Science gives us more answers now, but the mystery remains. Whether you believe in curses or not, one thing is clear. The ancient Egyptians took their tombs seriously, and their legends still haunt us today. What do you think? Was it just a series of accidents and illnesses, or could there really be something supernatural at play? Let me know in the comments, and if you're interested in more stories like this, check out my other videos on unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching.